Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I'm joined by Leah Miller.
Hi.
Leah is a YouTuber slash property developer, so we develop properties together as part of the family business. I've invited Leah onto this session because she is a little bit of a social media whiz, and I think that's going to be quite important for this one. So basically what I'm covering today is how to take your physical face-to-face business online. So I'm talking about businesses like hairdressers, beauticians, nails, all of that stuff that's generally done like face-to-face, which we love. So, and obviously you can tell because Leah looks way more glamorous than I do. So Leah's all about the nails, the hair, the makeup, everything. So given that most of those businesses at the moment are closed in terms of their physical locations, we thought, how can we help those businesses with what we as customers would like to see, so that maybe it just gives you some ideas. If you're not yet online, it gives you some ideas as to what to do. So we're going to break it down into 5. So it's going to be like 5 tips or 5 steps that you can take to get your business online. And we're going to cover everything in terms of technology, all the way to how you actually make money, even though your physical business is closed. So we're going to start off with the sort of content, so we're calling it content, so the types of things that you can do online, so they don't require you to physically be with the person. And we've got a few buckets. Do you want to start off by throwing out one? So somebody that's a hairdresser or a makeup artist or a nail person, or a personal trainer. If you use a personal trainer, what are the sorts of content they can do online that you've seen?
So I'd say things like tutorials. So if you're like a nail artist, it'd be good if you could show people like how to do infills, like things like that, because like
Liz, infills are looking bad.
No, they're not. They're only like 2 weeks in. But like I need to know how to do infills or how to soak off, like things like that. Like I don't know if we're going to talk about products later.
Yeah, we can. Well, that's actually next on the list in terms of product reviews.
So I was going to say for like nail artists, they could do things like send out soak off kits if they've got their hands on them, because like I need to soak off mine or do something, but I don't even know where to start. So I think just like help people out, and like if you find that your clients or whoever have asked you questions about certain things, and that's probably what you should like make content on. So I know that like when I had to stop PT, I was like, how am I gonna
personal trainers, for those of you that don't have PTs.
But like I asked him like, how am I gonna not put on weight when I'm at home? So you need to kind of like see what your customers are asking you and then make videos on that, because that's what everyone's going to be thinking.
I think Q&A is a really good one. I know you've done some Q&As on your own channel, because Q&As, it's actually quite easy to get the questions, isn't it? Because you've either already got them in your head, because it's the sort of thing that your customers ask in between when they come and see you anyway. Or what's another good way of getting Q&As, because you sometimes do this, how do you tend to get your Q&As, your questions for answers?
So like usually on Instagram you can do like a question sort of like thing where people can just like type questions to you and you'll see them all, or that's it really.
Cool. So we're going to go into the social media bit in a while, but Q&A I think is a really, really good one, because I think at this time, as I've seen a couple of YouTubers say, it's really thinking about what are your customers needing and asking right now. And so I think Q&A is a really, really good one. So that's the sort of thing that you can put out there. Something else that we've got on the list is opinion pieces. So, what are your views on some of the trends, what some celebrities are doing, whether that be different looks, styles, trends like, I don't know, health, well-being, mental health, veganism, whatever it be. There are lots of lifestyle trends out there, which I'm guessing that a lot of your customers actually speak to you quite a lot about. I know that my hairdresser is a little bit like my therapist. So, so think about some of those trends, and maybe you can kind of just do a little video or something about what your view is on some of these trends and how it affects your clients and what the sorts of things I might need to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so moving on to the second part of this then is really, you've now got like 4 or 5, and I forgot to say, get a pen and paper if you haven't got one already, or watch this back. So you've now got your 4 or 5 types of content that you can pull together. What my suggestion is now is that for each of those sections, you now write down a list of 10 things for each of those types of content. So thinking about if you had like 5 or 10 minutes with a client and they wanted a tutorial, I want you to write down 10 different types of tutorial that you could do.
Yeah.
So to basically do a content brainstorm. So what are the sorts of tutorials that you've seen that you think are really popular, or the sorts of things that you'd like to see? So you said about the soak off for your nails.
Yeah, like infills, things like that.
Yeah. For me, there's definitely something around looking after my hair in between going to the hairdresser. So I'm normally at the hairdresser's about, what, every 4 or 5 weeks for a cut. So, so I can't get in. So I'm definitely interested to know, okay, so how do I keep my edges looking fairly neat, kind of like over the next few weeks? This might grow into like a kind of little Michael Jackson style afro over the lockdown period. So definitely something about that.
Yeah, or like if people wear like weaves and things like that, like what are you supposed to do like with your weave?
Yeah.
Yeah, or like if you wear wigs, what are you supposed to do with your cane rows underneath?
Yeah.
Like, should I just shave off my hair? But that
you may well do that.
In fact, that is actually a video right there, because I want to know if I shave. In fact, like people are like, what the hell? But if I shave my hair off underneath my wig, will my wig be okay? Like, will it slide or anything like that? So if anybody could make a video on that.
There you go. There's one video right there.
That's the $1 million video.
And for me, one of the things I've been thinking about for a while, because obviously, so my hair is chemically straightened, so it's relaxed, and then my roots are kind of like, you know, natural, kind of kinky curly. And I have been thinking about going natural for a while. So I am sort of almost thinking, okay, do I kind of just like grow it for a few weeks now, and then just get to a point where then, you know, we can like order some clippers off Amazon, and then I can just, and then Leah can do me like a number 4 or something, you know, is that my transition? So I'd love to kind of get some thoughts on that. So there's some ideas. Thinking about the makeup ones now my view is that the makeup guys have been on this for a while in terms of tutorials and things. If you look at YouTube, I think your makeup guys are really good at this already. So what are the sorts of quite specific tutorials that you tend to get from like sort of beauticians, makeup people?
I guess it's just things like smoky eyes, everyday makeup look, or like just palette reviews, things like that, just product reviews.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good time to like kind of make a joke. It's not that funny, but like do like little things like, oh, get ready with me to go to the living room, or get ready with me to go to the bathroom. Do you know what I mean? You gotta like
trying to keep it light. And for me, so I am actually so this year I decided I'm going to be wearing less makeup generally. So if you were to see some of my first YouTube videos, I was kind of like heavily made up, probably not quite as much, not looking quite as glamorous as Leah, but I've decided to wear less makeup, and I tend to wear 1 or 2 things, like maybe literally just lip gloss and just mascara or something. So yeah, so for me, and somebody that's like getting older as well, so what are the makeup looks that kind of take me from, you know, kind of like my 30s into my 40s, and actually if I'm trying to reduce the amount of makeup that I wear, what could that look like? You know, what are those essentials? So that would be useful for me.
Yeah.
But there are all kinds of things you can do, even if you do things like, you know, kind of like massage, which obviously you generally are kind of like hands-on, but there are still tutorials and things like that that you can do around massages or relaxation routines.
Yeah, stretches, anything like that.
Yeah, product reviews, self-care routines, all of that kind of thing, basically. So your content brainstorm, that's the second thing. So remember, 10 kind of like different types of, you know, kind of like material for each of the content buckets, if we call them that. And then the third tip we're going to go on to is how to get started on social media. Now, I think, you know, when people often talk about taking your business online, people think, oh my God, I've got to have a website and all of that sort of thing. I hope by now most businesses have realised, or at least most consumer-facing businesses have realised, you do not need a website to be online, right? The definition of online has changed. So we're going to talk about getting started on social media. So Leah, just tell us a little bit about how you got into kind of like social media, what your main channel is, how you grew it, just like really quickly.
Yeah, so like last year I decided that I wanted to start a YouTube channel because I wanted to show our properties sort of like online, and I was kind of like, I didn't know at first like how much to post, and then I just kind of like developed it into more of like a lifestyle YouTube channel, I'd say. So it's not just property, it's just like a bit of like entrepreneurship, lifestyle, bits and bobs. And yeah, I just kind of like researched around, so I found Sunny Lenarduzzi, who talks a lot about like how to start a YouTube channel, but there's like so much information on YouTube about like how to get started. And like obviously now, like if you haven't got a camera, if you can't get one, then your phone like should probably be fine. Like you don't have to stress. It's just like just do it. Like it doesn't have to be perfect for the first video. Just do it.
And Leah, so congratulations. So Leah has recently hit 3,000 YouTube subscribers, which in just over a year is phenomenal. Really, that's pretty good going. You know, most of the YouTubers that you see out there that have, you know, hundreds of thousands and millions, they've been going for years and years and years. So it's not the sort of thing that kind of happens overnight.
No.
What about Instagram as well? Because that's the other space that you're on.
Yeah.
So for people that aren't currently on Instagram, so we know sort of some people that are in these types of business, whether it's, you know, kind of like hair, beauty, etc., that maybe aren't on Instagram. I know that a lot of people are, but I've certainly found working with some creatives when I've sort of been doing business mentoring, that sort of thing, some creatives aren't always that much into the technology, and some are. So if they're not on anything at all, how easy is it to get started on something like Instagram, and how important is it to be on Instagram for these types of industries?
It's definitely very easy, especially if you're in like hair and beauty. Like I assume you have pictures, like you should just have pictures like all the time. Like I know that when I get my nails done, without fail, she'll take a picture of my nails, like that's
every
just
time.
Like every time. So like you just need to, well, if they haven't got pictures, then I don't know what they're going to do right now, but like I'd hope they have pictures like, before and after. So yeah, just post them and like just, I don't know, like show people what you can do, maybe offer things like gift cards and things like that. But I don't think it is like that hard. Yeah.
And on Instagram, so there's obviously photos, which is quite important. The thing that I found quite interesting with Instagram, when we were looking at it from like a hairdresser's perspective, is Instagram, generally people think of Instagram as being about beautiful images and the aesthetic and all of that, but actually certainly around the hair in particular, it's not always about that. Sometimes it's about things like the detail of a hairline or something to show the standard of your work, I guess, which I always think is quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's not just like pretty selfies. It's just like people want to see like, is the wig laid flat? Can you see the closure? Can you see the frontal? Things like that.
This is like another language for some of us, I get it, right. But there is something about using Instagram to show your technique. Yeah. You know, to show that your cutting is good, to show the movement of the hair, to show that, the hairline is lying flat, etc., which is quite interesting. So it might actually be that if somebody's got some images from previous, they might actually be able to zoom in on some of those, potentially, to get some new content out for Instagram.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Let's talk about Instagram versus Facebook. So now, I know obviously Instagram is owned by Facebook, but, you know, for years and years and years, and even I've sort of told businesses previously, you know, you've got to get on Facebook. What's your view on the comparison between Instagram and Facebook, and which one is either easier to get started on or the most important out of the two?
I'd say, I mean, I just prefer Instagram anyway, so I'll always say Instagram, but I'd say if it's like, so say like hair, I know we keep saying about hair, but like it's like such a visual thing. I just think it's easier to be on Instagram. Yeah. I don't know, I think Facebook's just a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah, I think as well, and certainly a lot of marketers at the moment and a lot of ad agencies are really seeing a decline in organic reach on Facebook. So what that means is organic reach is basically like if you just post something and you're not paying for it, so it's not a paid ad. The engagement is really low, you know, so the number of people that are even seeing it, let alone liking and commenting, is really, really low. Yeah. So really the only way that you, especially if you've got a business page, which is what you're going to have as a business on Facebook, it's actually quite difficult to get kind of eyeballs on your content unless you're going to use paid advertising. And even on the paid ads, actually now the return isn't brilliant at the moment on Facebook. So I would definitely say Instagram is probably the place to concentrate if you're not already on.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram is saturated in itself, but I just think you should just be on Instagram anyway. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about YouTube as well. Which one do you think is easier so we're talking, in terms of the content we're talking about, obviously we've talked about images, but a lot of the other content we've talked about is video, because people love watching video, and especially now people have got a lot of time on their hands, they're watching a lot of video. What's your view in terms of the best place to put video? So obviously you've got a YouTube channel. For somebody that's just starting out and they've got no YouTube channel, how easy is it to start on YouTube, or would you just say just focus on Instagram video?
To be honest, I would say do both. The good thing about YouTube is it's like searchable. So if you like make a video and you call it smoky eye, whatever, people can actually search for that. Whereas on Instagram, it's kind of like you've got to rely on other people liking your posts so that it appears in other people's feeds, if that makes sense. But then I think the search does take a while to build up, and it does depend on like what people are looking at. So
it's an interesting one. YouTube, I mean, at the moment we're watching a lot of YouTube, and I'm actually finding YouTube really inspiring at the moment. I'm, you know, hats off to some of the really good YouTubers out there, you know, the Patricia Brights, the Sunny Leonarduzes, the Erin May Henrys, who I'm kind of just discovering all of these. But basically at the moment, a lot of people are consuming YouTube. Like, we're seeing, you know, there's channels whose followers are growing massively because everybody's got so much time on their hands. And I think also because media at the moment, you know, nobody's really filming anything in terms of live content apart from the news and This Morning. So YouTube is actually one of the few places where you're getting a lot of kind of original, fresh content. So there's a lot of eyes on YouTube. So I think, you know, if you thought about starting your channel before but hadn't done it, now is absolutely the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Like all the like fitness channels that do at-home workouts, like I've seen their subscribers just like shoot up, like it's literally crazy, just because like that's just like it's what's trending, and it's like what's well, I say popular, like, do you know what I mean, because we're all at home. So
got no choice.
So yeah, we've got no choice to work out at home. So yeah, I just think
so it's a good time, particularly if you're in one of these industries, it's a good time to get on YouTube. That's the reality. And to be honest, even if you're not necessarily that tech savvy, and we're going to talk a little bit more about tech in the next tip, you've got time to learn. You know, let's be honest about it. You know, if your salon's closed or whatever, you have now got time to learn and figure out how to upload onto YouTube. I mean, I started doing YouTube, I had no idea how to do it, and I'm not the best in terms of like technical, but you can kind of figure it out.
It's not,
you know, with
I don't think it's like hard.
No. And it's free. You know, YouTube is free, completely free, as is Instagram. You know, it's just all free to put your content out there. So YouTube, that's a really good one actually in terms of the searchability of it, because obviously YouTube is owned by Google. So if you think about it like that, YouTube is owned by Google. And I don't think a lot of small businesses realise that. So a lot of small businesses are often approached by companies saying, oh, we can get you on page 1 of Google, blah, blah, blah. The reality is, if you know which platforms to invest your time and your energy in, like a YouTube, you can get yourself on page 1 of Google. You know, I always say that you don't need to pay somebody to help you get up the Google searches. So that's getting started on social media. I hope that's given you some tips right there. The fourth one, in terms of technology. So some of the content that we talked about was things like tutorials, you know, masterclasses, product reviews. There's also something about one-to-ones in terms of, you know, what opportunities you've got. So in terms of personal training, just talk us through how yours has changed and what you're doing now in terms of personal training.
So like my PT, he's doing like Zoom call classes. So everyone logs into Zoom, and then we can see what he's doing, and then we just like copy. And then the other day, like I had like a personal PT
session over Zoom. So that's good, that you can still do a one-to-one over Zoom. I mean, obviously you can't do somebody's hair over Zoom. I mean, that would be amazing if you could, but we don't yet have that technology.
But to be fair, you can tell them what to do, because I know that this one girl, she said to all of her clients, like, if you're wearing a weave, then like give me your number and FaceTime me, and then I can show you like kind of what to do. Exactly.
One-to-ones, one-to-one consultations, that's what you can use the technology for. And so just in terms of sort of technology that people are using for one-to-ones or for group sessions, obviously there's House Party that everybody's all over, that I'd never heard of until about 2 weeks ago. There's FaceTime, obviously, on like your iPhones, your Mac devices. There's WhatsApp, clearly. There's Skype. And then for group things now, there's things like Google Hangouts, there's Zoom. I mean, WhatsApp can do group, but I think it only goes up to about 4.
Yeah, something like that.
But Google Hangouts, if you haven't heard of it, so Google and then Hangouts or Zoom, is where you can then get more people on. So, you know, if you've decided that you want to do some sort of tutorial where you've got people on, or you want to get all of your, you know, weave clients on, or your wig clients, you're going to do like a live Q&A with them. You know, those are some of the technologies that you can look at, and a lot of them have got special offers now. I think Google Hangout in particular have got like a special deal for Google business customers. I mean, you know, Google is a great product for small businesses anyway, but they've now got a special offer on their kind of like conferencing technology, so definitely one to check out. And then finally, so we've talked about all of these things, and then the final thing that I wanted to cover is how you potentially create revenue or income from some of these, because obviously it's great sort of putting out all of this content that your customers find useful, but actually, is there any of them that you can use to make money in this time? And I think the answer is that there is, basically. So I would say think about what you want to kind of give away for free, and think about what you want to give away as paid content. And that will differ depending on you, depending on your client base, depending on what your customers need. Some of the other things that people are doing to generate revenue, even though your business is physically closed, you mentioned it, gift cards.
Yeah.
So just from a cash flow perspective, if you can, you know, get customers buying gift cards, so gifts for other people. So, you know, I think that when we come out of this lockdown, people are going to be desperate for a makeover, like absolutely desperate. So, you know, if you know somebody that's got a birthday coming up or whatever, buying a gift card from like a beautician or a hairdresser or whatever is a great gift idea.
Yeah.
So I think for you as kind of service providers, as hairdressers, as makeup artists, you know, be reaching out to your kind of like clients and saying, you know, do you want to buy any like gift cards for things like, you know, one-to-ones, makeovers, pamper parties, whatever it be. The other kind of like revenue model that people are looking at is subscriptions. So subscriptions to, you know, whether it be like a Zoom class, so whether it be, you know, a personal trainer that's going to do like a weekly Zoom class, or it's going to be a subscription to like a closed Facebook group where you're going to give more one-to-one advice about, I don't know, meal plans or nutrition plans or whatever it be. But subscriptions is another way that you can generate, you know, kind of like income during this time. One-on-one consultations, obviously that can be on a paid basis, and you might say to yourself, well, do you know what, if I'm going to have, because you may still be doing things like one-on-one consultations with brides, for example, that may well be a good hour and a half long. Now, to me, that's quite a long time, and I don't think anybody would necessarily expect for that to all be free, unless that generally is how you run your business. So, you know, the one-on-one consultations is a way that you can generate income. Any other ways that you can think of? I've got actually.
You said, go on. No, you said gift cards.
Yeah. We haven't talked about the online courses.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Go on then. So online courses. So you're a bit, because you've done a couple of online courses recently. So just tell us about the platforms that you've discovered for online courses.
So I've recently been using Skillshare, which has been really good. So I did a little course the other day on interior design, but literally there's courses on like any random thing, like things you wouldn't even think of. So yeah, I definitely recommend like starting a course. And like, I think, to say if you're like a makeup artist and you're thinking like, oh, if I start a course, will that mean that like my clients don't come to me? But it's definitely not the case. Like, I think I'm pretty decent at makeup, but I still love having my makeup done. So it's not anything to feel threatened by. I think it will actually make people want to go to you more, because they'll like go to do it themselves and they'll be like, I can't even do it. So
definitely. So Skillshare, so I was looking at that this morning because I'm looking to put more of my content into online courses. So the two platforms that I'm considering at the moment is Skillshare and Teachable. And maybe I'll do a little comparison video kind of like after this, once I've like signed up, to let you know how they are. But definitely when I went on Skillshare, the emphasis was very much on like creative stuff. So as Leah was saying, it's like literally random stuff. Like it is makeup tutorials, it is hair, you know, how to do like a haircut at home or whatever it be. It's all kinds of things. So it's a really good space actually, I think, for creatives. Okay, we're going to wrap it up now because the camera's running out of time and I haven't got my standard editor. See, I should have taken a course on how to edit, then I wouldn't be panicked by the 25-minute countdown. So I hope you found that really, really useful. That's just 5 tips that we've thought of, and that's us as customers, but also I kind of just tried to put my business coaching hat on to say, actually, how can, you know, you guys that are maybe thinking, oh my gosh, like the world has changed, I can't run my physical business, there is stuff that you can do online. And I just hope that this has inspired you to kind of just go out there and just try some new stuff, you know, because we may well be locked down for another few weeks. So, you know, it really is time to kind of just get creative, stay strong. I know that there is also a lot of talk around, you know, should people be selling at this time, you know, etc. And I think one of the YouTubers that I saw put it really well when she said, at the end of the day, your customers are still out there and they still have needs. So please, you know, give us some help, give us your content, and, you know, customers will pay for it and they will support you and they will come back to you when your businesses are open. So anything else you want to say?
Yeah, and I'd say as well, if you're a small business and you want to do like a Q&A, like don't be afraid to like DM us on Instagram or something, and like I'll help you out with some questions.
We will do that. We will do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best during this quite difficult time. We will get through this, and there is a saying that says it will be all right in the end, and if it's not all right, it's not the end. Okay, so take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.